All right, here we are, Unit 4, Part 1, Study Guide, Answer Key, and this is page 3, starting with number 10. Our directions up here say compare using less than, greater than, or equal to, show your work. So just a reminder that in order to compare these, we need to have common denominators. I know that 20 is a multiple of 4, so I'm going to take 3/4 and convert it to a fraction with 20 in the denominator. I do that by multiplying both the top and the bottom of this fraction by 5. 4 times 5 gives me the 20 that I wanted, and 3 times 5 is 15. Now I can compare 15/20ths and 15/20ths and find out that these two are exactly equal. Alrighty, next one, 5/6 and 4/5. I know that the least common multiple for 6 and 5 is 30 because they don't have any other common factors, so I know that I can just multiply the two together to get my least common multiple. So I'm going to take 5/6 and change it, convert it to a fraction with 30 in the denominator, and 4/5 and convert it to a fraction with 30 in the denominator. In order to do the top one, I need to multiply both the top and the bottom by the same number, 5, and so my new numerator here is 25. 5/6 equals 25/30ths. And then over here, 5 times 6 gives me 30, and so 4 times 6 is 24, so 4/5 is equal to 24/30ths. 25/30ths is bigger than 24/30ths, therefore 5/6 is bigger than 4/5, and so we want a greater than symbol here. Looking at the next one, I've got 5 and 3. The least common multiple for 5 and 3 is 15, so I'm going to take 8/5 and convert it to a fraction with 15 in the denominator, and 7/3 and convert it to a fraction with 15 in the denominator. 5 times 3 is 15, so we multiply the numerator 8 by 3 to get 24. 3 times 5 is 15, so we multiply the numerator of 7 by 5 to get 35. Now I can compare 35/15 to 24/15, and I see that 35/15 or 7/3 is larger, so 8/5 is smaller than 7/3. So we do a less than symbol there. All right, next one. I've got 5ths and 3rds again. I know that my least common multiple is 15, so I'm going to change both of these to a fraction with 15 in the denominator to compare them. 3 times 5 is 15, so we multiply the numerator of 2 times 5 to get 10 in our numerator. 5 times 3 is 15, so we multiply the numerator by 3 to get 12 in our numerator. So we know we're comparing 12 to 10. 12 is larger, so 4/5 is larger, so this gets a greater than symbol. All right, now we've got 9/2 and 11/3. I know the least common multiple for halves and thirds is 6, so I'm going to change this to a fraction with 6 in the denominator. 2 times 3 gives me 6, so 9 times 3 gives me 27. 3 times 3 times 2 gives me 6, and 11 times 2 gives me 22. So I'm comparing 27/6 and 22/6. Therefore, the 27 or the 9/2 is bigger than the 11/3 because 27 is bigger than 22. Once we have common denominators, we just compare the numerators. So 9/2 is greater than 11/3. All right, 4/8 and 6/12. I know that the least common multiple for 8 and 12 is 24. And so we're going to change both of these to 24ths. We multiply 12 times 2 to get 24, so 6 times 2 is 12. 8 times 3 is 24, so 4 times 3 is 12. And so you can see that those are exactly equal. All right, in the bottom here, we're asked to order each set of fractions from smallest to largest and to show our work. We're going to write our answer on the line in the original fractions. Okay, so I'm looking at this list of fractions here, and I see that of all these fractions, I have the largest one is 12, and that each one of these can be converted to a fraction with 12ths. So I'm going to use that. So first of all, 2/3. We have to multiply 3 times 4 to get 12, so we multiply the 2 times 4 to get 8/12. 1/6, we multiply the 6 times 2 to get 12, so 1 times 2 is 2/12. 5 6. Again, multiply by 2 to get 12, so 5 times 2 is 10. 7 twelfths we don't have to change. 1/2. Multiply 2 times 6 to get 12, so 1 times 6 is 6. All right, so now we've got to put them in order, but using the original fractions. So, and it did say from smallest to largest. So I find this one to be the smallest, so 1/6 will go first. I'm done with that one. After the 2, the 6 comes next, so 1/2 is next in my row. So get rid of those. And then 7 would be the next, so 7 twelfths. And then 8, so 2 thirds. And then finally, our last one is 10, so 5 6. Alrighty, let's look at the next one. We've got fourths and eighths. I know that all of the and halves, and I know that all of these can be converted to eighths, so we'll go with eighths. So in order to make 1/4 eighths, we have to multiply by 2, so 1 times 2 is 2. 1/8, of course, is already in eighths. To make 2 over 2, which I can see off right at the bat that 2 over 2 is a whole, so it's going to be the largest one here, but we'll do it anyway. To make this eighths, we had to multiply by 4, so we have to multiply by 4 up here, so that's 8 eighths, and then 7 eighths is already in terms of eighths. So our smallest number here is 1/8. Next number up would be 2 eighths, which is the 1/4. Next number up would be the 7 eighths. And the next number up is the 8 eighths, or the 2 halves. Okay, last one on this page. So we've got fifths and tenths. We're going to use tenths as our common denominator. In order to convert fifths to tenths, I'm going to multiply by 2. So 2 times this denominator of 2 is 4. 4 fifths multiplied by 2, so we get 8 tenths and 3 tenths. Okay, smallest number here is 3 tenths. Next up is what the fraction equal to 4 tenths, which is 2 fifths. And then finally, the last one is the 8 tenths fraction equal to 8 tenths, it's 4 fifths. All right, so that's page 3, comparing and ordering fractions. And tune in for the next page.